I felt recently like I've had a more and more difficult time staying on task while working on art. When I start drawing or digital painting, I start thinking, and then I get interrupted constantly with thoughts like, oh, I need to post, or I should send the email now or else I might forget to do it later. And sometimes, I just find myself staring at the YouTube homepage despite having no intention of watching anything. When you're frequently jumping around between tasks and getting distracted, you can't get properly focused in on the thing you're intending to do. It can ruin not just your productivity, but also your enjoyment of creative work. If you feel a bit burnt out, you not allowing yourself to get in the zone actually might be a reason for that. I decided to test out some different things to find out what would help me, and figured what I found might be helpful to other people as well. Of course, not everything that works for me will work for everyone else, but I think it's worth trying at least some of these things out for yourself to see what happens. And tell me how it goes. First on my list is based on what you listen to. Some people might say that you should listen to music to be in the zone, and others might say silence is better. And I feel like this is something that is partially dependent on the person, as well as the task you're doing. For me, I realized that while doing most art-related things, I tend to focus best when I'm listening to some sort of audiobook or podcast. I also like listening to music sometimes, but there's just something about it compared to listening to someone talk that makes me more prone to distractions. That doesn't mean I won't ever listen to music while I'm working, but that I should probably switch to something else if it causes me trouble. I also think a lot of people are like me and focus differently depending on whether music has singing or is purely instrumental. I've found instrumental music is a great thing for me to listen to while doing illustration and animation work that takes a bit more thinking and full attention, like creating master copies for practice. When I'm writing though, I'd say just silence is most preferable. My second piece of advice is to set a timer. I set one on my phone and prop it up in a spot where I can easily glance over at it, but it's not in my view and distracting. This has been maybe the most beneficial thing for me, and I think there's a few reasons that I think are why. One is it's a visual way of telling myself that my phone is off limits and I shouldn't be using it. And it also tells me exactly when I will be able to take a break. Otherwise, I make the excuse of why not just do that other thing now, and it also feels like a fun challenge to see how much I can get done in the given time. After doing this, I went from getting sidetracked pretty frequently to not getting unintentionally distracted even once after digital painting for hours. And each time the timer runs out, I can take a more genuine break that feels earned. You can stretch, check your messages, use the bathroom, whatever. You could also time your breaks, but I don't think it's fun to rush them. Just get back to it when you're ready and set the timer again. I feel like setting a timer may sound like a fun ruiner to some people, but I found it incredibly fun. It was really surprising to me how much better and more relaxed I feel after doing more focused work on art, compared to my scatterbrained jumping around between things alternative, which tends to just make me feel exhausted and burnt out. 30 minutes to an hour is a good range to pick from, but I wouldn't recommend any longer than that. Sometimes, and this is more of a desperate measure I might take if I really need to get something done, you just need to make all of your distractions really inconvenient. Close all of your unnecessary tabs if you're on a computer, and throw your phone to the other side of the room if setting a timer doesn't keep you from checking it. If you mindlessly go to click on your browser to look at YouTube or something, and find that the browser is completely closed, you'll snap out of it and realize what you're doing. I'm a person who likes to keep too many tabs open, because who knows, I might finish watching that one thing I started like a month ago, but especially if you have the option to restore a closed window, this excuse sucks. This doesn't even need to be a last resort, just close something if you don't need it and want to focus. Might make your program run better too. My final fourth thing is to find a good time and place. For me, and I feel like a lot of digital artists for some reason, the peak time for focusing is after midnight. I can be feeling so tired in the afternoon and evening, but sometimes when the clock strikes 12, all distractions and fatigue just disappear, and I gain the focus of a laser. As for setting, it can sometimes be beneficial to just relocate yourself somewhere you wouldn't normally be. If you can bring all the stuff you need with you, we tend to hang out around where all our distractions are, and a change of scenery is always nice. The ideal time and place isn't always an option, but if it is, go for it. Here's another video you might like. Hope you found some of this helpful. Again, let me know if you tried anything here. I'd love to know what works for other people. Thanks for watching!